A boy returns home after running an errand for his grandfather.
"Grandpa,"
says the boy,
"I got all the groceries you wanted. Altogether, it came to $47.22. Here's your change."
His grandfather shakes his head and says,
My goodness, the world sure is expensive nowadays. When I was a boy your age, I could get 5 pounds of potatoes, 3 loaves of bread, 2 pounds of beef, a jug of milk, a tin of tobacco from my dad, and a handful of my favorite candies, all for about 5 cents. Can't do that today, though. No siree, Bob.
"Why is that, Grandpa?"
asks the boy. The grandfather replies,
Too many damn cameras!
A woman was sitting in the waiting room for her first appointment with a new dentist. She noticed his degree on the wall, which bore his full name. Suddenly, the woman remembered that a tall, handsome, dark-haired boy with the same name had been in her high school class some 25-odd years ago. Could he be the same guy that she had a secret crush on way back then? Upon seeing him, however, the woman quickly discarded any such thought. This balding, gray-haired man with the deeply lined face was way too old to have been her classmate. After he examined her teeth, she asked him if he had attended Branham High School. Yes, I did, he gleamed with pride.
"When did you graduate?"
the woman asked. He answered, In 1992. Why do you ask?
"You were in my class?"
the woman exclaimed. He looked at her closely, then asked, What subject did you teach? 2 policemen are on patrol at 2 o'clock in the morning. They see a man alone in the street, wobbling and barely able to walk in a straight line. They stop him to make sure he's not drunk in public or getting into a car to drive home. Where are you coming from? Asks one of the officers.
From the best place in the world,
He slurs.
my favorite bar that has the best drinks and the nicest girls in town. Each one is friendlier than the next,
The man says as he winks at the police.
That sounds like a great place,
Says one of the officers.
And where are you going at this late hour? Shouldn't you be in bed?
What? Sleep?
Replies the man.
No way. I'm on my way to a lecture on alcohol addiction and its effects on the body. The harms of smoking and proper social behavior.
Really?
Asks one of the officers dubiously while exchanging knowing looks with the other officer.
Are you sure you didn't drink too much tonight? I seriously doubt anyone is giving lectures on those topics at 2 o'clock in the morning.
The man sighs and says,
Tell that to my wife.
A Texan walks into a bar in Ireland. He clears his voice to address the crowd of drinkers and says, I hear you Irish are damn good drinkers. I'll bet 500 American dollars there's nobody in here who can drink 10 pints of Guinness back to back. The room is quiet and not one patron takes up the Texan's offer. One man even leaves the bar. 30 minutes later, the same man who left earlier returns and taps the Texan on the shoulder. Is your bet still good? Asks the Irishman. The Texan says, Sure it is! Bartender, get this man his drinks! The bartender lines up 10 pints of Guinness on the bar. Immediately, the Irishman tears into the pint glasses, drinking them all back to back. The other patrons cheer as the Texan watches in amazement. The Texan gives the Irishman his money and says, If you don't mind me asking, where'd you go when you left here earlier? The Irishman replies, Oh, I just went to the pub down the street. To see if I could do it first. 4 rabbis have a series of theological arguments, and 3 of them always disagree with the 4th. One day, the odd rabbi out, after losing another argument by a vote of 3-1, decides to appeal to a higher authority.
"Oh God,"
He cries out,
"I know I am right and they are wrong. Please send a sign to prove it to them."
As soon as the rabbi finishes his plea, a storm cloud moves across the sky and rain pours down on the four rabbis.
"I knew I was right,"
Says the lone rabbi.
"The storm cloud and the rain are a sign from God."
But the other rabbis disagreed, pointing out that storm clouds frequently form on hot days. So the lone rabbi prays again.
"Oh God, I need a bigger sign to show these skeptics that I'm right and they're wrong."
This time, a bolt of lightning slams into a tree on a nearby hill.
"I told you I was right."
Exclaims the lone rabbi. But the other rabbis insist that nothing has happened that could not be explained by natural causes. Just as the lone rabbi is about to ask for an even more impressive sign, there is a huge wind, so forceful that it slams the three rabbis against a tree, leaving only the lone rabbi standing. Then a streak of sunlight shines down on the rabbi and a booming voice declares,
You are right, my son.
As he stands triumphantly over his stunned and quivering colleagues, the rabbi puts his hands on his hips and says,
"Well?"
There is complete silence. Then one of the other three rabbis says,
"So now it's 3-2.
One evening, a man walks into a fast food place and buys a 9-piece bucket of chicken. He takes his chicken to the park for a romantic dinner under the moonlight with his lady. Upon reaching into the bucket, however, he receives a surprise. Instead of chicken, he discovers what is apparently the restaurant's night deposit, over $9,000. The young man takes the bucket back to the store and asks for his chicken in exchange for the money. The manager, in awe of the young man's honesty, asks for his name and tells him he wants to call the newspaper and the local news station to do a story on him. He will become a local hero, an example of honesty and morality that would inspire others. The hungry man shrugs it off.
My date's waiting, I just want my chicken.
The manager's amazement over the young man's humility almost overwhelms him. He begs to be allowed to tell the story on the news. At this, the honest man becomes angry with the manager and demands his chicken.
I don't get it,
The manager responds.
You're an honest man in a dishonest world. This is a perfect opportunity to show the world that there are honest people still willing to take a stand for what is right. Please give me your name and also the woman's name. Is that your wife?
That's the problem.
Says the young man.
My wife's at home.